Hello. Let's pick up where we left off in class. So let's talk about cost structure for a company and operating leverage. The cost structure is talking about the portion of costs that are fixed versus variable. For example, a highly automated manufacturing company would have large investments in their property, plant, and equipment and would have a lot of fixed costs. That would be the majority of their costs. On the other hand, you could have a labor-intensive company whose cost structure is mainly made up of variable costs. Let's look at an example of two furniture companies and how their different cost structures will have an impact on their net operating income. They both start off with the same net operating income. So here's the two companies. Company A is highly automated, Company B is highly labor intensive. You can see down at the bottom that they both have $80,000 in net operating income. And then the slide also calculates the contribution margin ratio, 80% for Company A and 60% for Company B. And then the last number on the table is the operating leverage, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So which company would you prefer to run, Company A or Company B? Well, you might pick Company A since it has a higher contribution margin because it's highly automated. However, let's consider the impact of changes in sales volume on the net operating income of each company. Let's see what happens when sales volume changes. So let's look at a 10% increase in sales and what it would do to net income. We would have 200,000 times 10% to get the increase in sales, and then you would multiply it by the contribution margin. So that's 16,000 for Company A and 12,000 for Company B. Therefore, increasing sales will benefit Company A more than Company B. We can see that because of the higher contribution margin. What would happen if sales would decrease? Let's look at a 5% decrease in sales. That would decrease net income by $8,000 for Company A and $6,000 for Company B. In this scenario, Company A would face a greater decline in income than Company B. What does this tell us? It tells us that Company A is seeing bigger swings in their income with sales increases or decreases. Why is that? Because Company A has a larger portion of fixed costs relative to their variable costs, meaning, or said differently, that they have the higher contribution margin ratio. A company with a higher contribution margin ratio is more susceptible to large swings in income with those corresponding swings in sales volume. The operating leverage is the measure of the proportion of fixed costs in a company's cost structure, and it's used as an indicator of how sensitive their profit is to changes in sales volume. The higher the operating leverage, the higher or more susceptibility they have to changes in sales volume. The calculation for operating leverage is contribution margin divided by net operating income. So again, let's look at Company A versus Company B. A company with high variable costs, in relation to fixed costs will have a low level of operating leverage. So in this example, Company A has the higher contribution margin as compared to net operating income and therefore has the higher operating leverage. Whoops. Okay. Excuse me. So we look again, it's the contribution margin in dollars divided by the net operating income. So what the operating leverage tells us is that if the sales increase or decrease for Company A, then the income will increase or decrease by 2 times that percentage. So if sales increase by 10%, then the net operating income will increase by 2 times 10% or 20%. For company B, the operating leverage is 1.5 times the percentage change in sales. So if a company's percentage profit increases with sales increase, a high operating leverage has a large swing and a low operating leverage has a small swing. And then the same with the percent loss for sales decreases. So when operating leverage is high, a change in sales results in large changes in profit. And on the other hand, when operating leverage is low, a change in sales results in small changes in profits. As a company gets closer and closer to the break-even point, operating leverage will continue to increase and income will be very sensitive to changes in sales volume. So that's a quick summary of operating leverage. High versus low, one is not any worse off than the other. It just depends on how a company wants to structure their cost structure and what their risk appetite is for changes in sales volume and changes in income. There's pros and cons to both high and low operating leverage. Again, if you have any questions on the material, please feel free to send me an email and schedule some time to meet during my office hours or schedule an appointment if those hours do not suit you. Thank you.